Dear students, in one of your previous classes we discussed about reduction reactions of aldehydes and ketones. That means Clemmensen reduction, Wolff-Kishner reduction, reduction with metal hydrides like aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride, then MPV reduction, etc. In today's class, let us discuss oxidation reactions of aldehydes and ketones with different types of reagents. So let us discuss oxidation reactions of aldehydes and ketones with different types of reagents one by one. So first one is oxidation with KMnO4, potassium permanganate. Then another oxidation reaction is with Tollens reagent, that is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution is Tollens reagent. Another one is oxidation with Fehling's solution, Fehling's reagent. Oxidation with Benedict's solution or Benedict's reagent. Then oxidation with the bromine water. Then last one is opener oxidation. Opener oxidation that we already discussed in the reduction reaction part. So these are already all about oxidation reaction of aldehydes and ketones. Moving on to the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with oxidizing agents. Mainly we have two types of oxidizing agents, strong oxidizing agents and mild oxidizing agents. First, let us discuss the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with strong oxidizing agents like KMnO4 or chromic acid, etc. So, aldehydes are easily oxidized to carboxylic acids by strong oxidants like acidified KMnO4 or chromic acid. Chromic acid is having the formula H2CrO4. It can be prepared or generated from sodium dichromate Na2Cr2O7 and H2SO4. So from this mixture, sodium dichromate and sulfuric acid, we can prepare aqueous sulfuric acid, we can prepare chromic acid. And also we can prepare chromic acid from a mixture of chromium trioxide and sulfuric acid. The mixture is known as Jones reagent. So actually Jones reagent is a aqueous solution of chromic acid H2CrO4 in sulfuric acid. That is Jones reagent, or it is a mixture of sodium dichromate in sulfuric acid, or it is a mixture of chromium trioxide in aqueous sulfuric acid. So the Jones reagent is a strong oxidizing agent, or acidified KMnO4 is a strong oxidizing agent. By using these oxidizing agent, we can oxidize aldehydes to corresponding carboxylic acids. Then we can use alkaline KMnO4. Alkaline KMnO4 also oxidizes an aldehyde in a similar manner, but the process requires removal of MnO2. MnO2 precipitate will form during the reaction. So after oxidation, it is formed after oxidation and acidification of the alkali, salt of the carboxylic acid formed. So after the reaction, after the oxidation, MnO2 precipitate will be there. So we have to remove the MnO2 precipitate. So alkaline KMnO4, so acidic KMnO4 is better than alkaline KMnO4 for oxidation. So that means in this case, in the case of alkaline KMnO4, there will be the formation of MnO2 precipitate. So we have to remove that precipitate. In order to avoid that precipitate removal, we can use acidified KMnO4. The acid obtained in each case. One thing we have to remember, that the acid obtained in each case has the same number of carbon atoms as the original aldehyde. So during oxidation with the strong oxidizing agents like acidified KMnO4 or Jones reagent, the aldehyde will be easily oxidized to corresponding carboxylic acids having the same number of carbon atoms as the original aldehyde. So that is the benefit of this benefit of using strong oxidizing agents like KMnO4 or Jones reagent. See, here we have some examples for oxidation of aldehyde using acidified KMnO4 or Jones reagent. Jones reagent is H2CrO4 in aqueous sulfuric acid. So acetaldehyde on oxidation, we will get acetic acid. Just oxidizing the CHO group to COOH group. 2-methyl propanol on oxidation, we will get 2-methyl propanoic acid. Then pentanal to pentanoic acid, benzaldehyde to benzoic acid. Simple oxidation. So no breaking in the carbon chain, simply converting the CHO group to COOH group. Now let us continue the oxidation of ketones with strong oxidizing agents like KMNO4. Unlike aldehydes, ketones are rather resistant to oxidation, even with strong oxidizing agents like acidic or alkaline KMNO4 or chromic acid under normal conditions. So, aldehydes can be easily oxidized with strong oxidizing agents like KMNO4, but ketones are resistant to oxidation. So, let us see why they are resistant to oxidation. This reactivity difference is a consequence of structure. That means aldehydes have a CHO proton that can be removed. Oxidation means removal of hydrogen. So this hydrogen or proton can be removed during oxidation. But ketones do not have a proton as in the case of an aldehyde. So aldehydes can be easily oxidized to carboxylic acid, whereas ketones are resistant to oxidation. So here we have the reaction of ketones with acidic or alkaline KMNO4. No reaction with oxidizing agents, strong oxidizing agents like acidic or alkaline KMNO4. That means they are resistant to oxidation with these strong oxidizing agents. Usually ketones are resistant to oxidation with strong oxidizing agents. But when we heat for a long period of time, what will happen? A ketone may undergo oxidation upon prolonged heating with a strong oxidizing agent to yield a mixture of carboxylic acids containing less carbon atoms than the original ketone. That means when we heat a ketone for a long period of time, bond breaking occurs in a ketone. Then we will get a mixture of carboxylic acids containing less carbon atoms than the original ketone. So here we have a ketone which on oxidation with alkaline or acidic KMNO4. Acidic KMNO4 is given here, then, or with Jones reagent. Under drastic condition means at high temperature or prolonged heating, the cleavage of bond occurs. Sometimes the cleavage occurs between C1 and C2 carbon. Sometimes the cleavage occurs between C2 and C3. So we will get a mixture of carboxylic acid. If the bond breaking occurs between C1 and C2 bond, then we will get a mixture of carboxylic acid like this RCOH. If the bond break occurs between C1 and C2, then a mixture RCOH and RCH2COH occurs. That means RCOH and R-CH2COH. But if the bond breaking occurs between C2 and C3, then we will get a mixture of carboxylic acid as RCH2COOH and R-COOH. Here the carboxylic acids are given. So we will get a mixture of 4 carboxylic acids are obtained from one simple ketone by prolonged heating of this with a strong oxidizing agent. Another ketone is given here, which on prolonged heating we will get a mixture of 4 carboxylic acids by different bond breaking between different carbon atoms. That means bond breaking occurs on either side of ketonic group. So it can occur between C1 and C2 and also between C2 and C3. So always under drastic condition, when we heat a ketone, the strong oxidizing agent, we will get a mixture of carboxylic acids containing less number of carbon atoms than the original ketone. That's all about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with strong oxidizing agents. Let us continue the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with mild oxidizing agents. Here we have different types of mild oxidizing agents. So aldehydes are oxidized by mild oxidizing agents like silver oxide Ag2O, Tollens reagent, that is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution, and Ferling solution or Ferling's reagent. Then we have Benedict's reagent, bromine water. These are mild oxidizing agents. Where ketones are not using these reagents, we cannot oxidize ketones. So ketones are resistant to oxidation with mild oxidizing agents, whereas in the case of strong oxidizing agent, usually they resist the oxidation, but upon prolonged heating or under drastic condition, they can be oxidized to carboxylic acid. It means a mixture of carboxylic acid we obtain during oxidation. These reagents can be used to distinguish between aldehydes and ketones. That means mild oxidizing agents like Tollens reagent or Ferling's reagent can be used for distinguishing between aldehydes and ketones. That means aldehydes are oxidized using these reagents to carboxylic acid, whereas ketones resist oxidation with these mild oxidizing agents. So we can distinguish between aldehydes and ketones using them. So first we can go through the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with mild oxidizing agent Tollens reagent. So Tollens reagent is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution. It's a mixture of silver nitrate and ammonia in solution. So Tollens reagent is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution. That means it is a mixture of silver nitrate and ammonia in solution. So we can prepare Tollens reagent by treating silver nitrate with NaOH, sodium hydroxide solution. Then we will get a precipitate of silver oxide, Ag2O, that we can dissolve by treating with aqueous ammonia. So we will get silver ammonia complex, and this is Tollens reagent. Silver diamine hydroxide or silver ammonia complex. So aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes are oxidized by Tollens reagent to the corresponding carboxylate anions. The reagent itself getting reduced to metallic silver. Aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes are able to reduce Tollens reagent to metallic silver. So what happens during the reaction is aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes are oxidized by Tollens reagent to the corresponding carboxylic acid, whereas the Tollens reagent itself undergo reduction to metallic silver that will deposit on the walls of the vessel. The reaction is usually carried out by heating in a water bath. Usually the reaction is carried out in a water bath. If the rate of the reaction is controlled and the walls of the glass vessel are clean, silver gets deposited on the walls to form a shining silver mirror. When the reaction is fast, it forms a blackish grey precipitate. That means if the reaction is carried out under a controlled condition, we will get shining silver mirror. Otherwise, we will get blackish grey precipitate. So here we have the reaction of aldehyde with the Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent is represented as silver ammonia complex ion AgNH3 twice plus. Here the reaction medium is basic. We have sodium hydroxide ion. So in a heating water bath, that means under warm condition, the aldehyde will get oxidized to carboxylate ion, and the Tollens reagent itself undergo reduction to silver mirror or metallic silver that will deposit on the walls of the vessel. Then, for example, acetaldehyde, on treating with the Tollens reagent, we will get acetate ion and silver mirror. It means acetaldehyde undergo oxidation to acetate ion, then this will undergo reduction to silver mirror. Another example, benzaldehyde, on treating with the Tollens reagent, we will get benzoate ion and silver mirror. So this is the oxidation reaction of Tollens reagent. Oxidation reaction of aldehydes and ketones with Tollens reagent. Here we discussed the oxidation of aldehydes only. how the oxidation of aldehydes occurs using tolerance reagent. Now let us know what is tolerance test or silver mirror test with tolerance reagent. On warming an aldehyde with ammoniacal silver nitrate solution, that is tolerance reagent, a bright silver mirror is produced on the glass walls of the reaction vessel due to the deposition of silver metal. This test is called tolerance test or silver mirror test and is a characteristic test for the presence of aldehyde group. That means when we treat an aldehyde or warm an aldehyde with tolerance reagent, the aldehyde will undergo oxidation and we will get the corresponding carboxylic acid, whereas the tolerance reagent will undergo reduction to metallic silver and will deposit on the walls of the glass vessel if the compound is aldehyde. But in the case of ketones, they do not answer this test because they are not oxidized by tolerance reagent, because tolerance reagent is a mild oxidizing agent. So this test we can use, that means tolerance test or silver mirror test we can use for the distinction test between aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes answer this test, whereas ketones do not answer this test. Now let us know one of the benefits of tolerance reagent, that is it is selective. It is very selective for oxidation. Aldehyde group can be oxidized selectively in the presence of other oxidizable functional groups or carbon-carbon multiple bonds using tolerance reagent. That is highly selective for oxidation of aldehyde group only. So here we have 4-hydroxy cyclohexane carbaldehyde. So here we have one oxidizable functional group, that is OH, which on this compound on treating with tolerance reagent we will get corresponding carboxylate ion. But this OH group will not undergo oxidation. So this is tolerance reagent is very selective for the oxidation of aldehyde group only. Then another example is, in this compound we have one multiple bond, carbon-carbon multiple bond. So using tolerance reagent, this multiple bond will remain unaffected during oxidation. So we will get corresponding carboxylate ion without affecting the double bond. Another example is oxidation of crotonaldehyde using tolerance reagent. That is butyl-2-enol undergo oxidation using tolerance reagent. We will get crotonate ion. That means here we have one double bond that will not get affected during oxidation. So this is one of the benefits of oxidation using tolerance reagent. Selective oxidation of aldehyde group. So far we discussed the oxidation reaction of aldehydes with tolerance reagent. Now let us know what about the reaction of ketones with tolerance reagent. We already discussed that ketones do not undergo oxidation reaction with tolerance reagent. Reaction with tolerance reagent highlights the reducing character of aldehydes. Since ketones are not reducing in nature, tolerance test can be used to distinguish between aldehydes and ketones in the laboratory. So that means in aldehyde we have one hydrogen, oxidizable hydrogen, but in the case of ketone there are no hydrogen, so it will not undergo further oxidation. So ketones on treating with tolerance reagent, there is no formation of silver mirror. Here we have one example, acetone on treating with the tolerance reagent, there will be no formation of silver mirror. So this is the this test we can use as a distinction test for aldehydes and ketones. That means aldehydes give positive result for tolerance reagent, whereas ketones do not answer tolerance reagent test, tolerance test. Now we can discuss another oxidation reaction with another mild oxidizing agent, that is Fehling solution or Fehling's reagent. Fehling solution or Fehling's reagent is an alkaline solution of cupric ions complexed with tartrate ions. So it contains alkaline solution of cupric ions and tartrate ions. It is prepared at the time of the experiment by mixing copper sulfate solution, that is known as Fehling solution A, and alkaline sodium potassium tartrate, also known as Rochelle salt solution, Fehling solution B. This solution is alkaline sodium potassium tartrate solution, Fehling solution B. So here we have sulfate solution, that is Fehling solution A, then alkaline sodium potassium tartrate solution, that is Fehling solution B. By mixing them together we will get Fehling solution. This is Fehling solution. This is structure of a complex having tartrate ion, sodium potassium tartrate ion. This is the structure of tartaric acid. So the salt is sodium potassium tartrate. Dicarboxylic acid is tartaric acid. Then aliphatic aldehydes are oxidized by Fehling solution to the corresponding carboxylate anions. The reagent itself undergoing reduction to yield the reddish brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. An aliphatic aldehyde reduces Fehling solution to red cuprous oxide. This test is known as Fehling solution. So when we treat an aliphatic aldehydes with Fehling solution, the aldehyde will undergo oxidation to corresponding carboxylate anion. Then the reagent Fehling solution will undergo reduction to reddish brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. So here we have the aldehyde RCHO, which on treating with Fehling solution, it will contain cupric ions, alkaline solution of cupric ions, that is Fehling's solution, and also contain tartrate ions. So Fehling solution mainly contains the cupric ions, which on treating with treating with aldehyde we will get corresponding carboxylate ion and reddish brown precipitate of cuprous oxide Cu2O. Example, acetaldehyde on treating with Fehling solution or Fehling's reagent we will get acetate ion and reddish brown precipitate of Cu2O. So this is the general reaction of oxidation of aldehydes with Fehling's reagent. Now we can see what about the Fehling's test with aromatic aldehydes. Fehling's test is a characteristic test for aliphatic aldehydes. However, aromatic aldehydes do not answer this test because they undergo more prominent side reactions. So aromatic aldehydes like benzaldehyde do not undergo oxidation reaction with the Fehling's reagent. No reddish brown precipitation of cuprous oxide occurs during the reaction when we treat with benzaldehyde and Fehling solution, because some other side reaction occurs in the case of benzaldehyde or any aromatic aldehyde. So now let us know the oxidation of ketones with Fehling's reagent. So ketones do not answer Fehling's test because they are not oxidized by Fehling's reagent, since it is a mild oxidizing agent. So since ketones are not reducing in nature, Fehling's test can be used to distinguish between aliphatic aldehydes and ketones in the laboratory. That means Fehling's test answers aldehyde answers Fehling's test. That means ketones, aldehydes, only aliphatic aldehydes answers Fehling's test, whereas ketones do not answer. Ketones and aromatic aldehydes do not answer Fehling's test. So, as in the case of tolerance reagent, we can distinguish aldehydes and ketones with tolerance reagent and also with Furling's test. So since aliphatic aldehydes, aromatic aldehydes, since unlike aliphatic aldehydes, aromatic aldehydes do not answer Furling's test, it can be used as a test to distinguish between aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes. That means Furling's test can be used as a distinction test between aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes and also between aldehydes and ketones. So ketones do not answer Furling's test. No precipitation of Cu2O occurs. That means reddish brown precipitate of Cu2O will not form during this reaction with acetone. Now the third mild oxidizing agent is Benedict's solution or Benedict's reagent. So oxidation with Benedict's reagent occurs with aldehydes, and we will get corresponding carboxylate ion. So Benedict's solution or Benedict's reagent is a basic solution of cupric ions complexed with citrate ions. So Benedict's solution contains cupric ions and citrate ions. It is prepared from crystalline copper sulfate, sodium citrate and sodium carbonate. In the case of Furling solution, we have copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate solution. Here we have copper sulfate, sodium citrate and sodium carbonate solution mixture. Then aliphatic aldehydes are oxidized by Benedict's solution to the corresponding carboxylate anions. The reagent itself undergoing reduction to yield the reddish brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. So as in the case of Furling solution, here also aliphatic aldehydes are oxidized by Benedict's solution to corresponding carboxylate ion, and Benedict's reagent undergoes reduction to yield the reddish brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. So aliphatic aldehydes reduce Benedict's solution to red cuprous oxide. So action of Benedict's solution on aliphatic aldehydes yields results exactly similar to that by Furling solution. That means we have similar reaction, chemical reaction in the case of Benedict's reagent and also Furling's reagent. Aldehyde plus Benedict's reagent, we will get carboxylate ion plus reddish brown precipitate. So reddish brown precipitate is formed in the case of both the reaction, both the oxidation reaction with Benedict's solution and Furling solution. Now let us see what is Benedict's test. On warming, an aliphatic aldehyde with Benedict's solution, reddish brown precipitate is produced due to the formation of a cuprous oxide. This test is called a Benedict's test and is a characteristic test for aliphatic aldehydes. So Benedict's test only answers by aliphatic aldehydes. Aromatic aldehydes do not answer this test as they undergo more prominent side reactions. So here we have benzaldehyde and aromatic aldehyde. On treating with the Benedict's solution, no precipitation of red brown Cu2 occurs. So only aliphatic aldehydes answer both Furling's test and Benedict's test. Aromatic aldehydes and ketones do not answer this test. So let us know the reaction of Benedict's test with ketones. Ketones do not answer Benedict's test because they are not oxidized by Benedict's reagent, which is a mild oxidizing agent. So Toland's reagent, then Furling's reagent, Benedict's reagent, all these are mild oxidizing agents. So they will not oxidize ketones to corresponding carboxylate ions. So only aldehydes will undergo oxidation with these mild oxidizing agents. In the case of Tollens reagent, both aromatic and aliphatic aldehydes undergo oxidation, but in the case of Ferling solution and Benedict solution, only aliphatic aldehydes will undergo oxidation. Reaction with Benedict solution highlights the reducing character of aliphatic aldehydes. Since ketones are not reducing in nature, Benedict's test can be used to distinguish between aliphatic aldehydes and ketones in the laboratory. So, ketone, as we already discussed, ketones do not undergo oxidation with Benedict's reagent. So, we can use this reagent or Benedict's test to distinguish between aliphatic aldehydes and ketones. So, Benedict's test can be used to distinguish between aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes, and also aldehydes also can be used to distinguish between aldehydes and ketones. So, a ketone on treating with Benedict solution, there will be no reaction. That means there is no precipitation of red-brown cuprous oxide. See, this is the last oxidizing agent, bromine water, mild oxidizing agent, bromine water. So, let us know the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with this mild oxidizing agent, that is bromine water. Aldehydes are oxidized even by a mild oxidizing agent like bromine water to the corresponding acids. The red color of bromine water is discharged by aldehydes. So, during the test, the red color of bromine water will undergo decolorization by aldehydes. Ketones are not oxidized by bromine water. So, here we have one aldehyde which on treating with bromine water, we will get corresponding carboxylic acid. For example, 3-methyl butanol. On treating with bromine water, we will get 3-methyl butanoic acid. But in the case of ketones, they are not oxidized by bromine water. So today we have discussed oxidation reactions of aldehydes and ketones with the different types of oxidizing agents. First, we discussed oxidation with the strong oxidizing agents like acidic KMnO4 and then Jones reagent, etc. Then we discussed the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones with mild oxidizing agents like Tollens reagent, Ferling solution or Ferling's reagent or Benedict's reagent, and then bromine water. In all the cases of mild oxidizing agent, they do not react with the ketone, they only react with aldehydes and undergo oxidation. So, we can distinguish aldehydes and ketones with mild oxidizing agents. Thank you.